I was out in the middle of the Caribbean, and the Lord gave me a vision, a picture in my mind, a movie. And it was waves of young people going from everywhere to everywhere by the millions.
The harvest is ready. We have to go. We won't stop till the whole world knows the power in your blood to save every soul. We're not ashamed of the gospel. Jesus, you.
As Christians, we're normally not terribly interested in history, but what we must realize in reading the Bible is that God thinks it's important.
Roger, understand. Go for landing. 3,000 feet.
All the second stage tanks now pressurized.
1,600.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Good evening, my fellow Americans.
That our men are coming home.
On July 20th, 1969, man went to the moon.
Not the third. Garrett has the ball. A goal to first.
You guys.
Young people come from all over the world and from many different backgrounds and denominations to meet together at this unique school in Switzerland.
For many of the young people, the training began in a summer of service in Europe, Asia, Africa, or America. Clearly, God was uniquely preparing these young workers for the challenge of Munich as they witnessed on the streets, someplace or any place in the world. The tiny village of Herlag was deluged by more than 1,000 Jesus revolutionaries.
Fight truth, the key, read your Bible today. My friends, the living solution. Well, it's the revolution of love.
I would to God that within 50,000 Christian young people that might say we're ragged and poor, that part doesn't matter, but we're changing the world for the cause of Christ.
Revelation, the revolution of the joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. In you I'm going to sing for.
Beginning with their early morning wait for the train, the YWAMers' day was continuously punctuated with prayer. The world watched in horror when their best attempt at brotherhood, the Olympic Village, where athletes from around the world were to live in peace and harmony, exploded into a battlefield. While the memorial service for the murdered Israelis was taking place, the Christian young people quietly prayed on the streets. They sang, and they comforted the angry, confused public. At last, the police gave in and permitted the Christians to march. They marched in sympathy for the Israeli victims, distributing 10,000 flowers to the people to illustrate to Munich and to the world that only in Jesus' love was there a real basis for brotherhood.
Those first young students spread out around the world, and from the first go base exploded first 3, then 8, 17, and 80 centers, some 80 schools in 80 countries in a short 12 years. God was multiplying. More than 100,000 volunteers acted in obedience between 1970 and 1980, creating a caring army with arms stretched right around the globe.
One thing about YWAM in those few years before that, whatever you do, you pray about. I prayed about it, and that's when the Lord said, YWAM is going to have a university, and you're going to be a part of developing that.
picture of the ship that we purchased a few months ago. It was called the Victoria. It's now called the Anastasis, which in Greek means resurrection.
But from the word of the Lord about ships and universities, it came at the same time. The twins were born the same year. The campus here in Kona, and the first ship to be a fully developed ship in YWAM came in 1978 as well. In Italy, they purchased this liner. They renamed her the Anastasis.
Well, it's a joy to be able to be with you. You know, I love this mission. I don't love it because I'm married to Mr. YWAM. I'd be a YWAMer without him. I just love this mission.
So many times I've tried to tell you, but I don't think you've been listening. There's nothing I want to try and sell you, 'cause his love is free. You're so proud of saying you're a seeker, but why are you searching in the dark? You won't learn a thing until you soften your heart.
What about God? What does he think about the poor and the needy? How does he feel about their suffering? We serve a God who weeps, who's brokenhearted, a God who suffers with those who suffer.
If you're a teenager or younger, you're part of a generation that is being viciously attacked.
If just this once I could show you your empty life.
We need to talk to Muslims, talk to Jews, and say we acknowledge that those attitudes and those actions were wrong. That's why the reconciliation walk has been proposed. That's why it's already underway.
College of Communication, training Christian communicators for all nations. The University of the Nations is YWAM's global university dedicated to equipping students to serve worldwide in every sphere of life. The university is divided into 7 educational areas, one of them being communications. Because we live in an age of information, Christians must have a wide base of knowledge and experience in many areas of communications in order to be a strong advocate for their beliefs.
We need to tap into what God has as a plan so that we can have this wonderful tool that we can share in changing your nation for Christ.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
I will preach the gospel of die and be forgotten as long as you get the glory. And I will preach the gospel of die and be forgotten as long as you get the glory. I will preach the gospel of die and be forgotten as long as you get the glory. I will preach the gospel of die and be forgotten as long as you get the glory. Jesus, your word. Yeah! Come on! It's all for your glory. Till every soul is one. Jesus, your word.
We still hear the challenge of Christ. Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. As long as there is still unreached millions, the laborers are few. God is still seeking for the willing youth that will present himself to be trained for service. It all begins as we hear his voice.